Lights low, mics high. Yeah, let's get into it. It's crime o'clock, yeah, feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. Whole story change, no fear my voice, no need to shout. Paper speaks when you read it out. If the math's off, I'll circle twice. Truth ain't loud, but it ain't nice. Yeah. Read it again. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah. It's crime o'clock. They sell a narrative if I sell receipts. Courtroom quiet, but the pages speak.
It's time to clock in. Crime O'Clock starts now.
Screenshot save, timelines tight. Missing pieces keep me up at night. If they say alleged, I say why. If they say case closed, I say try. No rush here, we do it right. Truth don't bend for the likes of hype. If you came for noise, you in the wrong spot. This is evidence, this is crime o'clock. Clock, clock, clock. Stay with me. This isn't background noise. This is pattern recognition. This is documents. This is crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Say it with me now. Crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Typically unique. It's crime o'clock. Yeah. If you're here, you're early. If you're listening, you're paying attention. Show starts now.
It's time to clock in. Crime O'Clock starts now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Crime O'Clock on Typically Unique. Sorry about the late start time. Thanks, Dago. Super chat. Let's get it started, y'all. Yeah, one towards the goal. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I saw Italian Girl. Hey, Italian Girl. Good to see you today. New member. I think that's like a renewal for you. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Let me do this.
I appreciate you. Thank 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 you for the support. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I was saying that I accidentally picked my wrong intro the other day, and I keep forgetting to go back to the one that I'm playing doesn't have the video with it. Oops. I'll try to remember to fix that for next time. Hope everybody's having a great day. I see Buffalo Chick. Hello, hello, Blue Devil. I did get my pipes did. That doesn't sound good. So some of you know I've had a flooding basement for the past couple months. It's happened like 2 or 3 times. Such a pain in the butt. And I finally had them come over, and they were here for a long time. I was like, come on, I got a podcast to do. But they got it cleaned out. It was just my sump pump. All the pipes that attached to it were just filled with mud. So they blew that out, got the mud out. So fingers crossed that did the job and we won't have any more flooding, but it put me way off schedule. Dago is bringing the I called it the meatball train the other day, the cafe train. Thank you. With another donation, 3 more peeps. 3 more peeps. Yeah, so we're going to get going on this. We are talking about the Long Island serial killer case, but I'm not even getting to Rex Heuermann today. There is so much backstory to this, and I kind of, I say my title was like How to Catch a Murderer Eventually, because there was so much going on at the beginning of this case.
Clock it. So I gotta say thank you. Clock it.
That was for Dago. Thank you. Appreciate you. Oh my goodness. We got another one. Italian girl. So generous. Thank you. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. This one. Sorry, those of you with pets. I was told I need to give a warning for the pets that don't like the sound of fireworks. Dago, I know it's been more than a month. I know. Thank you for being here. All right. So the Long Island serial killer case. I know everybody likes to talk about the Idaho 4. And trust me, along the way, as we bring stuff up in this case, please make connections to the Idaho 4. There's a lot that connects. A lot of things that happen in this case will make you think of what has gone on in the Idaho 4 case. Put those comments in the chat. If you're watching on replay, put those comments in the comment section. I'd love to know your thoughts. So that's one of the things that I try to do a lot is, even though we're not specifically talking Idaho 4, we bring it in all the time. So no worries. So you get interesting stories, interesting information here on this true crime channel, and that connection back to Idaho 4. So we got another member. All right. I'm glad to have you as a member, Blue-Eyed Butterfly. Oh, and a super sticker. Let me see what that is. Is that blowing a kiss or something? That's cute. That's cute. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Where are we at? We're at 3. It says 3 out of 5 on the goal. It should be more than that. It should be 4. Why isn't it keeping track? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was number 4. Come on, catch up, YouTube. You guys are awesome. Okay, so what are the things that have gone on in the Long Island serial killer case that we can make connections to the Idaho 4? So, well, allegedly, speculatively, questioning, because things, might line up. But Long Island serial killer case had definite police corruption. Like, police went to jail. Okay. They went to prison. Botched investigation, like held things up, kicked out the FBI. It took, oh my gosh, so many years to finally catch the killer. And there's still questions about that. This case, to me, I'm going to be pointing out today in this episode that I'm not sure that Rex Heuermann is the only one. I think he's definitely A1 because of all the evidence they have against him. And they did not only rely on DNA. That's what one thing I love about this case that we'll get to the next time I talk about this is the difference between the evidence they had in this case, how they came out and spoke openly about the evidence that they had in this case. They shared it with the public. They told the public what they did. Loved that. I loved that. Not so much in the Idaho 4 case. They had a task force in this case, also a task force happening over in Idaho, and just like a huge scandal going on. So today I want to focus on still on Shannan Gilbert and all because a lot of the I call it like side stories, side activities that went on in this case before they got to Rex Heuermann revolve around her. And so I want to give that information, and her story ties more to that police corruption and the police that were involved in that. So we're going to talk about that part of this case. And then there's a lot of information that came out. There were some people, there was one woman that actually went on a date with Rex Heuermann, but only went to a public dinner with him, did not go anywhere private with him. She shares her story, talks about him, and then some other victims, family members, a witness, an eyewitness that actually saw him, things like that. So those are the two focuses for today. All right, so let's start with Shannan Gilbert. And they originally, the medical examiner, along with the police, ruled her death accidental. They said she just wandered out when she was running away. Yesterday, we listened to her 911 call. So she just kept running and ran into the marsh, and they say she drowned. There's, in my opinion, we're going to look at a lot of evidence that doesn't support that. Also, her family, her mother was very suspicious, very concerned about the investigation, and she had her own private autopsy done. And that pathologist said that there was signs of strangulation, and her hyoid bone was broken, which is that occurs when you have strangulation, especially strangulation that causes death, because you got to apply that much pressure. And there were also injuries to her fingers and toes. So interesting. I spoke yesterday that when medical examiners when they are making their determination, they're looking at the body, but they're also looking at the body and what they're seeing, and they should be lining it up with information that the detectives give them about their investigation. So it helps them better determine cause and manner of death. So it just makes you wonder, way back then in 2011, when the police officers that end up getting imprisoned for corruption, what kind of information were they giving the medical examiner? So, all right. So let's see. Let's look at this map. So over to the far left, you can see that's where Brewer's house is. And that's the party house that Shannan was in. That's the house she ran out of. And then the yellow line is her route. So she runs straight to the first house was that Coletti guy, Gus Coletti, I think was his name. He was the guy that at first let her in, and he called 911, and then she left. Then she kind of rounds the corner and she runs a distance where the arrowhead is, the yellow arrowhead, to the woman's house, Barbara Brennan. And that woman calls 911, but does not she's scared of what's going on. She's scared of Shannan. So then we get to Peter Hackett. And I told you I'd listened to the 911 call like many, many, many times. And when we listened to it yesterday, we didn't hear, I thought Peter Hackett called 911. Let me know in the chat if he supposedly called 911, but we did not hear that. So maybe he did not. I was listening to a person that has researched this case, was out there on the scene when they were doing the search and found Shannan's belongings and found her. And his information was that Peter, he thinks, and so it's not 100% sure, which is odd because I would think police would be able to prove this stuff, that Peter Hackett, well, no, he suspected that Barbara Brennan called Peter Hackett that night because she was so worried. And he said that Peter Hackett was like this super nice guy, the kind of personality that would like make people feel comfortable, the kind of guy everybody calls in that area. He was also connected with the police, even though he was a doctor. He would do, it sounded like if there was a big tragedy, like one time, I guess I don't know if it was the airplane that went into the river or there was some airplane crash he helped with. So he had connection with the police. So he thinks Barbara called him over there that night, and he might have, this is all speculation, seen Shannan that night. He thinks her driver just left. But what's odd is that you can see the first circle, the red circle closest to the yellow line. That is where Shannan's belongings were found. Her belongings were found first, and there were her shoes, and her mom said they were like ballerina type shoes. I'm imagining just like a flat, because we can hear her, like we can hear them clapping, on the pavement as she's running. Her jeans, her purse, and like some lip gloss and maybe some other items like that. But this guy who was there said they were like and the mother described them as being in pristine condition. And this is supposedly after being out there in the weather for over a year, like year and a half. So that's odd. They were found first. Then I think it was like 6 days later or so, they found her body. And you can see her body is way over. But this is all, kind of behind Peter Hackett's house. So that's suspicious. Mike says he had medicated her the day of or the day before this happened. Yep. That's the reason he called the mother. Yep. So this is why Peter Hackett kind of inserts himself. People who do that, that's a red flag. Inserting yourself into a case. He called Shannan Gilbert's mother the day after she went missing. The day after. And he told her he ran he ran a home for wayward girls, and that he had seen Shannan that night and he had given her a sedative. And I'm thinking okay. I mean, I'm sure the mom would have asked, like, where is she now? Where did she go? Like, give me the information. I would love to hear that phone call. I wonder if that's been released. Has anybody heard that? Hi, Kenny Dodson. Good to see you. So yeah, he inserted himself, said he saw Shannan, but he was cleared. he was cleared, and he has since moved to Florida. The last I knew, and I don't know if he has passed away since. I didn't do an update on him, but I know he was cleared and moved to Florida. So let's see. So that is the area of where she was found. Let me see which way I need to go on there. Okay, so right there. So you can see, and all the bodies were not found that far from the road. And another point that I heard, because they said Shannan drowned, okay? And I heard someone say, okay, if there was that much flooding that she would have drowned, the flooding would have been over the road. So just an idea somebody had. So here, up at the top where it says entry, that must be where because this is a gated community. So I'm wondering if that is like the entrance into the community, because you can see that's a main road. That's probably Ocean Parkway. Up her body's closer to that. And here are some photos of when they were out there after they had found her, because you can see, oh no, that's a machine that they're digging with. So, all right, that's what I have for a Shannan. Okay. Hey, Seahawks fan, how are you? Dago, I don't know if I said hello to you. Hello, hello. I know I thanked you a million times. Yeah, it's wet hair day around here because after, like, the plumbers were here forever, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta get ready. Gotta get ready. Hi, Becca. I saw you were in here. I think you were number one today. All right, so let's listen to Shannan's mom. And I mean, this mom did not play around. She hired her own attorney. And remember, we talked about how she eventually was killed by her other daughter. So Shannan's mom was in charge of Shannan's like estate. So everything legal, like with the lawyer and everything like that. So when her mom passed, her attorney had to like get that all rearranged with, I think it's like people from the state now that run it. But this is her mom at a press conference with her attorney. She wants some answers. The attorney is John Ray. And I think, Dago, if you can hear me, is this the attorney that DA had on his show that he knows? Seahawks fan. Don't tempt me. I might just show up one day with a towel on my head. Oh, that's funny.
Met with the medical examiner.
Look at his getup, man. He's got a striped suit jacket, a yellow hat.
And the doctor in the medical examiner's office who performed the investigation of Shannan Gilbert's death. There doesn't seem to be any evidence whatsoever of a drowning. Now, the medical examiner claims that the tests render their conclusion inconclusive. They cannot conclude at all as to how this woman died. But there's something missing. The two missing bones are the bones of your neck, right here. These two bones that fuse the part of the neck where strangling ordinarily takes place when strangling occurs are missing. The Marine Division of the Suffolk County Police Department arrived on the scene when Shannan.
I should do this too because oh, that's good. So yeah, those of you that watch Devil's Advocates, this is the attorney that DA knows. Um, so that's good to know. Shout out to him. Um, when I play these video clips, there is going to be talk of the sex workers, the crimes, the injuries, descriptions of these parties. So I'm not going to show anything too crazy, but just be aware. All right.
Had called in on the night of her death. They had arrived on the scene some 40 to 50 minutes after the call that was made. And they allegedly performed a search with only one vehicle in a desolate area such as exists where this event took place. And after 40 minutes, simply abandoned the search. In that phone call, we now know that she asked for help, that she said that she was being
Hold on a second, because and let me tell you, I searched high and low for the original press conferences when like James Burke and Tom Spoda and all those people were in charge, and I haven't found them yet. So any information about the original investigation I'm trying to like listen to. So he just said something.
that she said that she was being killed. She said that her driver and the alleged customer were part of an attempt to kill her. There was a scuffle on the tape that took place. All the while, she's crying out. She's actually screaming in some parts of it. And then there is sounds of her running away on the tape, fleeing.
I was optimistic when I first walked in, but now I'm more frustrated and angry than ever. I was hoping for something more substantial and solid, but it's all I got was betrayal and misleading trust. And no matter what it takes, I'm going to keep fighting for my daughter and for my family until the truth comes out, no matter how long it takes.
Oh, something happened there. I'll back up in a minute. Okay. They kept telling Shannan's mom that she probably just ran away. That's what sex workers do. She's probably like in Vegas. Like that's what they were telling her. Like there was no investigation going on. They did not go search out there. Someone put in the comments yesterday that they weren't going to search out there for Shannan. They just happened to stumble upon body parts when they were out there doing trainings with their dogs, which is another odd thing because it might have been the same guy that I was listening to that had been out there. He thought it would be off. Like he said that the dogs could pick up scents within 100 yards, but I guess where the guy was when he discovered the first bodies was like way further away than 100 yards. So I don't know, just lots of suspicious stuff in here. I don't know why this sped up oh, it's only a couple minutes, that's why. So I wanted to hear what he said about right here. Okay. That's what I wanted to hear. Oh, you guys couldn't see it. Sorry. He's saying the Marine Division of what? Showed up 40 to 50 minutes later after the call? Like what? Oh, that's what I should look for, Mike, is a local news station. Yeah.
and they allegedly performed a search with only one vehicle in a desolate area such as exists where this event took place. And after 40 minutes, simply abandoned the search. In that phone call, we now know that she asked for help, that she said that she was being
Okay, we heard all that. I just wanted to, I knew he said like 40 minutes later. I'm like, what? So right off the gate, like, was this call not responded to? Like, I would like to see those records, like, the dispatch, how that went on. I mean, the 911 operator seemed definitely concerned. They seemed like they were doing, when Shannan called in, then I don't think that there was a connection between the people in the houses calling into 911. They got different operators, so they weren't able to put 2 and 2 together. I do know on day 2, after Peter Hackett called Shannan Gilbert's mother, he should have gotten a visit. They should have searched. Then they should have started searching. Like, what? Someone called in and said, I saw your daughter, like, after she was running away, saying, someone's trying to kill me. Yeah. So many balls that were dropped. All right. So that was her mother. Rest in peace to her. And then we have Megan Waterman's mom. She's a little feisty too. That one is okay.
Surprises you, I guess, is the question about where you find yourself now and where you find this case now.
What do you mean? What am I?
Like, are you surprised it's still not solved?
I'm very shocked that it's not. It should have been solved a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. But are you really surprised it's not solved?
Yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it ever will be solved.
Really? Why?
Because nobody's talking.
You don't think it'll ever be solved?
No.
Why?
Because of the profession that they were in. If it was a nurse's child, doctor's child, lawyer, just a regular, ordinary, working 9-to-5 job person, it would most likely have been solved by now.
But still, the amount of people, the amount of victims in this case, I would think that would push them to get it solved.
Yeah. Problem is people don't want to talk. I don't know if they're afraid to talk or I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know who she's talking about, who she's thinking about in her head with people not wanting to talk. But it seems like everybody that supports the victims, like roommates, boyfriends, other sex workers, they've spoken, they've shared their stories, even at their own peril. Like, they're like, I don't care if I'm like humiliated or looked down on in public. I want to help. But who didn't talk was the guy that owned the house that was in the party, Joe Brewer, Peter Hackett, James Burke, all those people.
Believe that somebody out there knows something and that they're not talking, or do you believe that just people don't want to talk about tragedy and victims in this way?
No, somebody knows what happened. Somebody saw it. Oh, yeah.
Like somebody, meaning like somebody saw a girl, one of the girls getting into this guy's car or something like that? Or somebody saw what, do you think?
Somebody saw my daughter being dragged off. Because it was right there on the highway. Can't tell me cars going by. I didn't notice nothing.
Rach and I have been to the Hap Hog Holiday Inn many times. We stayed there. The whole crew stayed there. We've talked to them. Have you ever seen the video?
No, they won't show me it. Can I take a drink of my coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't show me it.
Yeah, you can drink your coffee.
So I don't know every girl's story specifically. So with Megan, like, I don't know. Her mom is talking about her being dragged off on a major highway. So I don't know if she's talking about near her home, near a hotel. Is she talking about Ocean Park Highway? Like, that's more secluded. So I don't think she would be talking about that. But she's also saying there's a video and they won't show it to her. This is all the evidence I'm telling you that is not very public. I didn't know about this until recently, all the details about things that have not been shared. And I think it's important to talk about investigation work, right? In all cases, the Delphi case, the Idaho 4 case, the Holly Bobo case, Karen Reed case. I mean, we can go on and on and on listing cases. Brianna Aguilera, that's a recent one. We were just talking about that yesterday. How are these investigations going? Are they using all the evidence that they collect?
During the
Just
whole
take it
time.
whenever you need to.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask you that question again. We've seen that. We've never seen the video. Have you seen the video?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Why not?
Suffolk County won't let me.
Really?
They have all my daughter's stuff too, that they will not release to me. The only thing that I know about the videos is Megan and her pimp was seen leaving the hotel at 8:00 at night, and then Megan walking back in at about 8:20 by herself, and then leaving at 1:15 in the morning by herself.
Mm-hmm. Here's my question. She didn't have her purse, right?
Nope.
She didn't have her phone, right?
I don't care what they tell me. I do not. They can tell me till I'm blue in my face that she did not have her cell phone. I know my daughter. Her phone was glued to her ear. She wouldn't even go to the bathroom without her cell phone up to her ear. So there's no way she left her phone.
So that's important because I know that Rex Heuermann would try to talk all the girls into not bringing their cell phones with them. Okay. And then I also heard someone say something funny about him, that because he had all those burner phones that he would use to communicate with these girls. And the detectives were like laughing at him because he would use a burner phone while having his iPhone in his pocket. So they could still track him because he had his iPhone in his pocket. Like, thank God. I said this before, right? We need like a stupid things criminals do corner segment of the show. Hi, Sluther75. That's okay. I'm going over right now a couple moms of the victims. This is Megan Waterman's mom. She thinks Megan would have had her phone. Detectives told her she did not have her phone. And I said, I know that Rex Heuermann would try to get the girls to not have their phones with them. He would tell them not to bring it.
No way possible.
But didn't they say that they found her phone?
What they say for the people, they're not going to be honest with you. They're going to sit there and tell you that they found what they found in hopes that somebody's going to trip up and say, well, how could you find that if I have it?
Yeah, I've read that they said that they found her phone.
Maybe.
You don't believe it?
No. They don't have a cell phone.
So,
Like I said, she doesn't leave home without it. She doesn't go to the bathroom without it being stuck to her ear. It's on her 24/7.
because, the cell phone is one of the most interesting parts of the whole thing.
Oh, so the cops must have said, like, we found her cell phone maybe like in her apartment or something like that. Um, and she's saying no, she wouldn't have went somewhere else without her cell phone. Okay, I see.
Right?
Yep.
Amber, supposedly, well, we do know Amber left her cell phone.
Yep.
That we know. Maureen, she had her cell phone and it pinged to
Penn Station, I think.
Fire Island.
No, Fire Island. Yeah, Fire Island. Melissa's cell phone pinged to Hapog. Was it Hapog? What was the two hotels?
2 hotels. Yeah.
The day after.
Days in.
And so the question is whether or not whoever did this was pushing, basically got smart after Maureen and Melissa, and then asked Megan not to take her cell phone.
So yeah, I do think there were some things that Rex Heuermann and whoever, well, we'll just stick with Rex Heuermann, changed along the way. So 2 of the earlier victims, they know where their phones pinged, and then he changed it up and started trying to convince the future victims to not bring their cell phones with them. Even though he wasn't caught at that time, but you know, technology caught up. So he was probably aware of that. Hi, Sleuther. Hope you're having a great day. Everybody if you're working and listening, I appreciate you. I know some of you can only join on lunch breaks and things like that. That's what I used to have to do.
That's the question.
Megan wouldn't have listened. She still would have taken it.
She would have taken her cell phone. We've spoken to numerous people who said that this person who may have done this was probably stalking the girls. Have you heard that?
That I have not heard.
Okay. If you look at how Maureen was taken, she went down into Penn Station and then came back up. Would have had to come back up. Something would have had to lure her back out of Penn Station.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it must have been a call, something to bring her out. And we spoke to Sarah Carnes, who was with her that weekend. Sarah Carnes said that somebody called her as well as, you know, what happened to Amanda. I don't know if you ever heard about Sarah Carnes getting a call, but somehow she got a call. We don't know if this is actually true or not, but she did tell that she said that she told Suffolk County Police, and Suffolk County Police said, "Why did you take so long to tell us?" I've never heard it been made public. We're not 100% sure, but it could be interesting, the fact that the guy did. It could have been that the guy called her.
Yeah.
He called her and said, "Do you know Marie?" She said, "Yeah, she's my friend. She's missing." She said, "She's okay. She's in a whorehouse in Queens." This was 2 weeks before it had been announced or before anything had been made public. So that was interesting to us.
So I had never heard that one before. That sounds like someone used one of the victims' phones, called a friend. Rex Heuermann did that. I know that that he called one of the sisters of another victim, kind of taunting, I think. So weird. Hi, Jessie Lynn. Oh, I need to do that. I need to do some cleaning. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Just because of what was said to Amanda. So that gave us some reason to think that there was something interesting there.
Yeah.
So someone must have called Maureen to get her out of Penn Station.
Yep.
Somebody can't really tell what happened with Melissa. We do know she went to Long Island for a call. We do know that her cell phone was pinged to these 2 hotels. We don't know if this was somebody who she had seen before. Megan outside Hapog Holiday Inn, right? We know there's video of her leaving.
Yep.
Right? And then the question is, my question to you is, I've seen reports where the police said that she received some kind of solicitation off Craigslist.
Yep.
Do we know this for sure?
Nope. And people need to realize with Megan comes across as a tough person. But when it gets dark outside, Megan will not go outdoors by herself. Megan is petrified of the dark. So she had to have known this person.
So for those people who said maybe she went outside for a cigarette or to get some candy from the store,
She wouldn't do it.
she wouldn't do it.
No. She had a best friend that lived 3 trailers down from my mom. And at 9 o'clock at night, if she wanted to go visit him, she would call him, have him walk down to my mom's house and walk 3 trailers up with her because she would not go by herself.
Mm-hmm. So she must have received a
Yep.
call off Craigslist. And
Because there's no way she would have left. I went to Holiday Inn Express only once, so I couldn't deal with it, handle it. Where she went missing, it's pitch black. There's no way she would have went down there.
mhm. Did the police ever say that they had any videotape of the parking lot?
Cameras don't work.
The cameras didn't.
Cameras are fake outside.
Oh my goodness. That's horrible. That's horrible. Although there were other people, I'm going to jump to that in a minute. The police had the description of Rex Heuermann's avalanche. I believe it was a green avalanche. Almost the whole time. Never did anything with that information. So when she's talking about the cameras not working, like, just crazy. And these girls, several of them did use Craigslist, and Rex Heuermann used that, and that's how they would get in touch. And he also, these weren't like one-time experiences with him, I don't think. I think some of them had went with him more than once. So maybe he did that to build trust or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
When people look at them, they think they're real, but they're not. They're fake.
So the question is, in my mind, whether or not this person knew that Akeem wasn't with her at that time, period. Like, how did he know to strike then? They were with each other earlier in the day.
I don't know if my daughter was set up or what had happened, but a week before Memorial Day weekend, Akeem and his buddies, my daughter and my granddaughter, was at the hotel in South Portland. And Megan was there for quite a while, and then all of a sudden they started pulling out cocaine, weapons, knives. My daughter called my mom to go pick her and my granddaughter up. She didn't want to know around that, and I don't blame her. So Megan was gone from the hotel maybe a half hour, and they raided the hotel. So they all got out of jail, and my daughter goes back down to New York with them. Now, do they think that my daughter ratted them out because she was only gone a half hour and they all get busted?
Okay, so Megan had some issues. I don't know if she's saying Megan or Maureen. She actually was like a confidential informant about these guys, but I mean, ultimately, the mom doesn't think that's who did it, and she is definitely tied back to Rex Heuermann through DNA and all of that. These are just these like surrounding circumstances. So a lot of these girls had drug dealers that knew them well. They had like, I don't know, some people would say like a pimp or drivers, you know, things like that. All right, let me skip this a little bit because they're going to talk more about she gets very suspicious of the police. She has a lot to say about the police.
Amazing. She was a mom.
And talked about serial killers and how foreign the concept was to her.
Yeah, because you don't. No amount of money can amount to somebody's life.
I have to believe it was just so surprising to us how many people are on Craigslist, how easy it is to just cell phone post,
Yep.
picture.
And that's how they caught Rex.
Decide.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, but when you're on the phone and you're
Ever put out. They put out $5,000, $10,000 on missing person cases. On this one case alone, they have a $25,000 reward. But you would think money would talk nowadays, but it hasn't yet.
you're also an administrator on
Lost and missing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that if you can.
No, I want to hear you talk about the police.
Akeem calls my mother. And went over and met him. There's no support down there.
Oh, this might be it.
No. There's no support down there. Because they just don't care. I shouldn't say that they don't care, because I'm sure they do. But this case is way too big for Suffolk County. They don't know where to begin. They don't know where to start.
Oh, they knew. They just didn't want to do it, probably. Hi, Sleuther. Yes, but they were so decomposed because it had been decades for a lot of them. By the time they were found, even Shannan had only been like a year and a half, but they only found like her skeletal remains. So I don't know if they could technically, scientifically prove that, but they were able to find in Rex Heuermann's home, like, you know, devices and things that that would lead you to think that. Oh, you don't think so, Dago? Oh, this is a good question. I have to look. I mean, they were sex workers, okay? So that there, number one. We're going to listen to some more people, and that might give us some more information about that. Okay, so that was Megan's mom. And all right, just a little bit more about the first investigation, what these cops did. And I learned how to say, is it Suffolk County? I was saying it wrong yesterday. Hi, Cassie. Hello. Suffolk County. So let's look at, let's look at the corruption in this case.
Really the trial of James Burke that never happened. Hi, everyone. I'm Eileen LaPalmer, the criminal justice reporter here at News 12 Long Island. As you may know, I've been covering the trial, the federal obstruction of justice trial of former District Attorney Tom Spoda and his investigator Christopher McPartland. There is so much evidence and so much testimony at this trial that we haven't even been able to fit into our daily stories. So we thought we would do this kind of reporter notebook look back.
Okay, so I'm not going to play her whole thing. So basically, there was this huge trial for like Tom Spoda, like the district attorney. He went to prison for corruption. James Burke went to prison for, beating that guy up, and then later for other sexual assault things. But the DA got in trouble because every time James Burke, the sheriff, or wait, what was he? Was the chief of police? I'm sorry, the chief of police. Every time the chief of police got in trouble throughout his career, Tom Spoda would defend him in court. And so that's just like evidence. And so they had all of that, and they got in big trouble. All right, so not that one. This one.
Their faces haunting, the stories of how they died still unknown. At one of those recovery scenes, this.
A black leather belt embossed with the letters HM or WH was recovered.
The police commissioner shows the first item of evidence released to the public in nearly 9 years.
We believe that the belt was handled by the suspect and did not belong to any of the victims.
See, they had evidence that they weren't releasing. They weren't doing anything for so long to like really try to solve this case. They weren't searching for in the area where they know Shannan was last seen. After they did find the bodies and they had certain evidence to maybe like put out to the public, like, hello, those were initials. Someone could have come forward knowing those initials. Oh, what else was there? The 911 call. Oh my gosh, they wouldn't release that forever. And then even this lady, she's the police commissioner. So not sure her time frame of when, like she might have been there the whole time with the corruption of James Burke and Tom Spoda too. I'm not sure.
Investigators say a person involved in at least one of the killings is somehow tied to the belt with the initials emblazoned on it. Exactly how, they won't say. Instead, they're seeking answers from the public through another new resource.
We are launching a website.
It's called gilgonews.com.
With the hope that with its release, the public will generate new tips and new investigative leads.
But the website has yet to work, and there's been criticism of investigators' developments.
For years, 9 years, the Suffolk County Police Department has covered up the facts in this investigation.
John Ray is the attorney for the...
That's the attorney for Shannan Gilbert again. He likes hats. Look at that hat. He likes to dress flashy too. That's funny.
Family of Shannan Gilbert. She was a sex worker whose disappearance after leaving the home of a client in the Gilgo area in 2010 sparked the search that resulted in so many bodies being found. Gilbert had called 911 at length the night she vanished. Release of the tapes of that call was among many things blocked by then Police Chief James Burke and then District Attorney Tom Spoda. Both men have now been convicted of crimes unrelated to the Gilgo killings. New leaders say today's disclosures show more openness, but they're still not releasing Shannan Gilbert's 911 tape.
We don't think she matches many of the patterns of the Gilgo Beach homicides.
Oh my gosh. See, this is what bothers me because, I mean, we listened to that 911 call yesterday and pointed out all of the issues along the way. And saying that Shannan does not match the way the other victims were found. Okay, all the other victims were naked. Shannan was naked. She was in the marsh. They were in the marsh. She was a sex worker. Most of them were sex workers. Now there are differences, like a lot of them were bound and gagged in the I always forget the name of it, the certain bags that they used. But I also think Shannan was in a different situation than the others. Shannan was in she might not have been one-on-one. Like there could have been a party going on over there. I don't know. So yes, there is some differences with her. But also I think like they're not giving credit to her 911 call. Like she was definitely in danger, definitely running for her life. And I don't think they looked at it that way.
And that statement took many by surprise, a statement saying that Shannan Gilbert's death may not be related to the homicidal deaths of the other victims. By the way, Shannan Gilbert's family's attorney strongly disagreeing with that. Also, well worth pointing out that a major motion picture about Shannan Gilbert and the other Gilgo deaths set to come out later this month was this.
All right. There's lots of documentaries and movies and things to watch on Netflix or other streaming platforms too. Yeah, I know that 911 call was heart-wrenching. Okay. All right, let's listen to what some of these people said about seeing the potential killer. These are all super short.
Liana, this is the first time that we are hearing from David Schaller. He says he met with homicide detectives on multiple occasions during the initial years of the investigation. He told detectives then what he repeated again last year, and that led to the arrest of the suspect.
It was a tip about this Chevy Avalanche that led to the arrest of Gilgo Beach serial killer suspect Rex Heuermann. The clue coming from the victim Amber Costello's Long Island roommate at the time. David Schaller telling the Associated Press he spoke with homicide detectives multiple times more than a decade ago when Costello vanished. He was re-interviewed in 2022 and brought it up again. Schaller telling the AP, quote, "I gave them the exact description of the truck and the dude. I mean, come on. Why didn't they use that?"
Thanks, Tomboy. I don't know. Should I like bite my teeth with worry or should I like clock it? No, so Tomboy is saying that Pav answered me in a video again, which I am glad about that because we'll just sidetrack here and then I'll back up. When we did the verdict room with Birdie last Saturday night, if you haven't watched that and you're watching this later, or if you're in here now and haven't seen that, go back and watch that. It was a great conversation. But at the end, I asked a question about Kaylee's phone and I clarified and I said, this might be a stupid question. But Pav was kind enough to like give me directions where to find the information. So I appreciated that. But then I still kind of felt silly, like just asking like, where's the phone? But I had a reason for why I was thinking that because I was just thinking like all the scenarios, if like Kaylee was in the living room dancing, like it said she was, and we know her blood is found in the living room, you know, she would have been on her phone most likely. But then her phone was found upstairs in bed with her. And I just was thinking if there was any form of attack that happened in the living room, would she be able to manage to hold on to her phone that whole time going back upstairs? I mean, I would think it would have been dropped or something downstairs. So just speculating about all that. So I'll have to show that. Oh, he's very sweet in it. Aw, should I watch it right now? Or save my reaction for privacy? That's good to know. I'm glad. All right. So let me back this up just a minute. All right, we know all this. Oh, look at that. It's interesting to see where all the victims were found.
Than a decade ago.
Like, look at that. Just like right in a line. Right in a line. Oh, this is what I wanted to tell you guys. I don't know if Amber Costello is the correct victim. I kind of tend to say yes. I think she's the victim I'm thinking of. But I believe it was in one of the documentaries about this case. There's one called Lost Girls. I don't know if it's in that one. There's many. There's several. But I remember hearing a story where Rex Heuermann went to pick up a client and went into the home, and she had either a boyfriend or a roommate, but they kind of set Rex Heuermann up. Like he came to get Amber, and somehow she got his money. Like she already got money from him. And then the guy came out of like the back room or something and pretended. So I don't think it was really her boyfriend, but pretended to be like her husband or something, and like scared Rex out of there, and they had his money. So they kind of like ripped him off, which really angered him. And stupidly, either I don't think she would have set up an official other date with him, but he ended up getting her, and she ended up disappearing. So anybody ever hear that story before? DJs allegedly Mo True Crime 1998. I hope I said that right. Hi, how you doing? Glad to have you here. Gang, Skull. You did a 14-hour stream. Oh, wow. Wow. That's crazy. Hi, Chris Tat. Oh, you did hear that story too? Okay. Yeah. It's just so many crazy little stories in this. All right. So this is the roommate speaking about Amber and what he saw. Because, oh, yes, that's it. That's how they saw Rex Heuermann's avalanche, and gave a description of him. I think he's the one that called him an ogre.
Oh, when Costello vanished. He was re-interviewed in 2022 and brought it up again. Shaler telling the AP, quote, I gave them the...
What did I say? DJ's allegedly... Oh, in my opinion, true crime. Gotcha. Allegedly, in my opinion, true crime. That's funny. That's what we always have to say.
exact description of the truck and the dude. I mean, come on. Why didn't they use that? We went to the Brooklyn address listed for Schaller now, but he wasn't available to speak with us Saturday night. Schaller had also told investigators a decade ago that he came face to face with the suspect in the driveway of their West Babylon home.
Yeah.
Telling the AP, quote, when they told me she was dead, he was the first person who jumped in my head. I've been picturing his face for 13 years.
That's
Suffolk
crazy.
District Attorney Ray Tierney on what Shaler said.
Specifically, the individuals between 6'4" and 6'6", come well over 200 pounds.
Tierney says detectives connected the victim to burner phones back in 2012, but it wasn't until years later that detectives narrowed that to a region of Massapequa Park and cross-referenced it with DMV records. According to vehicle history reports, Heuermann bought the pickup at a Chevy dealer on Long Island in 2002 and transferred ownership to his brother in South Carolina in 2012. Tierney, who became DA in 2022.
Isn't that ironic? Oh, DJ's allegedly, in my opinion, true crime has a channel, you guys. You can drop your link in here. We'll go check it out. We'll go check out your channel. Get some more subs over there. Yeah, he was tall and big, and that can be very intimidating. That this is just another thing that I'm going to rail about that the Suffolk police had this evidence. They had the eyewitness description. They had the description of the vehicle. I don't know how much they could have done with phone data back then. But you know, yeah, Alanis Morissette. I love her.
Explains why the tip got buried.
When they're getting that, that's lost within a sea of other tips and information they're getting. And at the time, there wasn't really any, coherent leadership at the top. So there is no interaction between the FBI and the other.
Okay. This is the guy that comes in and solves this case. Okay. I think his last name's Tierney, but he was nowhere involved way back in the original investigation. So he's being too kind right here, saying, oh, the tips got buried. He's just being politically correct and speaking kindly. He knows full well that they did no investigation, right? They did no investigation.
Other agencies.
And retired Suffolk Police Detective Rob Trotta, who worked with the FBI, tells me it really was a Suffolk Police Department and District Attorney's Office in crisis more than a decade ago.
I really think this should have been solved, 3 weeks after that body was found. The head of the District Attorney's Office was a guy named Jimmy Burke, who later became the chief of police.
Okay, that's Jimmy Burke right there. James Burke. Everybody that knows him calls him Jimmy. He was the chief of police.
We know now that he was a criminal. He went to federal prison. The district attorney at the time is still in federal prison.
That's the district attorney, Jimmy's best friend, Tom Spoda. He went to prison for corruption, also conspiracy or something like that also.
And I think what happened was, and I know this firsthand because I've talked to retired inspectors and chiefs in the police department, they were unaware that the car was there. They were unaware that there was a 6'4" male as a suspect. They were not being told this.
And tonight, the suspect, Rex Heuermann, remains behind bars in the Suffolk County Jail. He's
all right. We're going to get to that on another day. So let's hear from one more witness who is able to completely describe. She wouldn't have known well, I don't know. Let's listen and see if she called in a tip ahead of time. I don't think so. I don't think so. This woman was a sex worker, but she probably wouldn't have realized who she had gone on a date with until after he was arrested, and then was probably like, oh my gosh. Let's see. I'm going to go to this one.
It is one thing to sit where I am and tell you
Sorry,
the extraordinary and
Dago,
tragic
if you're
story
watching.
of the Gilgo Beach murders. And it's one thing to sit where you are and then just try to take all these awful details in, right? But take a breath and imagine for a second that you're sitting across a table from the very man who is now accused of seeking out and torturing and killing innocent women like you or your sister or your mom or your daughter. Nikki Brass had that experience. She's a Heron.
Thank you, Skull. I appreciate that. Hey, everybody that's watching. If you don't be shy, say hello in the chat if you would. I'd like to know who's watching. But it's okay. If you can't, I understand. Sometimes I'm like, I can't chat right now. Please hit the like button if you wouldn't mind, and subscribe if you're new here.
Makeup artist who used to work as an escort and says her date with Rex Heuermann in 2015 was one of the more terrifying nights of her life. She adds that it was also very, very strange. And she joins me now with her lawyer, John Ray. Thank you to the both of you. Nikki, let me begin with you if I can. And thank you for coming back on the air to talk about this. Obviously, in a really difficult time for you, because these were very uncomfortable details that we learned this week. A blueprint with hunting and targeting and playtime and supplies, all allegedly Rex Heuermann planning his kills. What's your reaction to the information that you've heard?
Honestly, a lot of the information I already had from him. It was said in a third person point of view, but he said that stuff before it was released. I already knew.
Tell me about that, because as I recall, he became strange on that date because he seemed to have a fixation with the Gilgo Beach body. So to walk me through what it was he started saying to you on that date.
When we first sat down, we talked about basic stuff, and then it moved to him asking if I knew anything about serial killers or was interested in it, which I did know a lot about serial killers. So we started talking about different serial killers. After we talked about them, which that was like very much third person, just
Okay. So, yes, Italian girl. So, this girl's name is Nikki. I don't know. Her last name started with a G, I think. A lot of you might be familiar with her interview where she's got blonde hair and it's in braids. I mean, I had to go back and forth. Like, I'm still not sure if it's the same girl, but they tell the same story. So it's got to be the same girl. I liked this, the way she spoke in this one better, but I'll show you what she looked like in the other video when we're done. Yeah, she's got lots of hair, lots of piercings. She's got gauges in her ear.
somebody who read about it talking. Then he asked if I had heard of the Gilgo Beach killings, which I'm from Long Island, so I have. And that's when he started to get weird, and it wasn't third person anymore. It seemed more like somebody who was like remembering and enjoying talking about it and just way too detailed. And he said things that like I didn't remember hearing in the news yet.
Did his manner change? I mean, in the
lot of-
conversations you had when you first sat down, it seemed like it was kind of an innocuous shared interest in true crime. Lots of people like true crime. Did his manners?
Yeah.
Did his mannerisms change as you got into the Gilgo Beach murders?
Yeah. Yeah, he leaned in, he got excited. It seemed like something he like very much wanted to talk about. But not even just talk about, you know, the look in someone's eyes when they're remembering something, when they're thinking about it, when they're trying to think about details. It was like that. It wasn't like somebody who read a book and was just spewing facts. It was somebody who was trying to act like they didn't live it.
At what point, Nikki, did you realize?
Could you imagine, you guys? I mean, just like, let's just say you went on a blind date. Like, you went on a blind date with somebody and you're talking about true crime, right? Like, I would do that. I'd be like, you know, hey, I mean, I wouldn't because I'm married, happily married. But in that scenario, you know, if I'm talking about, you know, oh yeah, true crime, I have a true crime YouTube channel, blah, 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 start talking about cases. And then the person across from you, all of a sudden, when you start talking about Long Island serial killer, they're like, you know, perking up and leaning forward and talking about it now more in like first person, like memories instead of, you know, like creeped out I would be. How long would you guys? Yeah, check please. That's when you go to the bathroom and you call your best friend and you say, call me in 5 minutes and say I have to come home, there's an emergency. But then I'd be afraid to go outside. Oh my gosh, let's listen to what she did.
That you needed to get out of there, because as I understand it, he's asking you to come back to his home, and when you're saying no, he's suggesting he drives you to your home. What was your spidey sense that told you, beat it, get out of here?
He had never offered to drive me to my home. He insisted, he asked me if I was going to go with him. He had showed me a white envelope, like implying it had money, but never showed me money. And then asked if I was going to go home with him. I was like really, really uncomfortable. At that point, I had already texted somebody to meet me outside. So I told him like, thank you for dinner, but no, thank you. And like, you could tell he was like visibly like annoyed. And he was like, well, why not? And trying to understand. I was like, trying to make excuses. So I was like, you know, it's late. I really don't want to drive that far in the dark. And he was like, no, no, no. Like, you'd leave your car here. We'd go on mine. Why would we take 2 cars? Like, very insistent that if I go, I'm taking his car.
Do you think that you could have been one of these victims?
If I went to his house, yes.
It just gives me the chills to think that you had that strong sense to move on, to get out of there, and to ask for someone to meet with you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation.
That's terrifying. And it seems like Rex Heuermann would change little things like that, right? So I bet after he went to a dinner with her, I wish he would have said when it was. He was probably like, no more dinners, right? He probably doesn't want to give these girls an out. Probably straight to picking them up, because Amber Costello, the boyfriend that spoke and said he was an eyewitness, he gave a description of him and the vehicle. Rex went to her house, picked her up from her house. It sounds like Megan Waterman was picked up from a hotel. So probably no more dates after that one. Okay. We're going to hear from one more person, and that is Amber's sister. And her information is very telling also. Her sister, they both had drug problems that they were battling. They both worked in the sex work industry. So she knew what her sister was doing and has a lot of insight about that. I think she's the one that also has a lot to say about James Burke and Peter Hackett, I believe. So those were the things I wanted to focus on today. Oh, I got to find the one with her. Oh, let me show you this real quick. So this is the same. Let's see if we can tell if it's the same girl. Yeah. Yep. She's got the gauges. Look at her different appearance. This is the girl we just heard. The girl that everybody said she has lots of hair. So she had dark hair. Now she has blonde hair. Easy to do. But she's got the exact piercings and gauges. So same girl. Oh, maybe it was a wig for sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. I see that you are covering. Oh, Sebastian. All right. I'm going to come over. I got to write down DJs. Allegedly, in my opinion. Okay. This is the sister.
Each other. You know, we were best friends. You know, we were just always dependent on each other for emotional, and she was my best friend, you know, she was my worst enemy sometimes, and she was my family. She was my heart, you know. She was my mother, she was my sister, she was my child, you know, she was everything to me. She was my partner in life. Some people think the person you marry is your partner in life, but it's not. For me, it was Amber.
Oh, thanks, Luther.
And how was Amber different from you?
Amber never used to instinct. She didn't think things through. You know, at least I do take a second to think things through and have a plan B. You know, she never had a plan B. I was her plan B. You know, always went and, you know, when situations that looked like they could go wrong, I was there, you know, and we just worked it out. It's just the way it was. She was erratic in a lot of her behavior with drugs and heroin and guys and, you know.
All right. This, what she has to say can get a little racy and explicit. I'm going to try to, you know, go through that stuff, but.
Can you tell me, do you remember the day she disappeared?
Yeah, it was September 2nd. We always walked in the morning. Like it was, you know, still warm out. We would walk around the blocks, you know, whatever, just talking. And we were talking about going to get our nails done and stuff because I had to leave that day to go to North Carolina because someone was taking off life support that we knew. And that morning I was with her and a guy called and you know, just asked the general questions. You know, I wasn't too into it because we deal with 1,000 calls a week, you know. They were just asking, are you full service? How much, you know, per hour? How much per night? You know, he had called probably one other time while I was there. And do you party? Do you have access to it? You know, stuff like that. Just general questions that everybody asked. We didn't think twice about it. We didn't even say anything about it. As I was getting ready to leave for the airport, he had booked her for the night for $1,300, and it was all planned out. You know, she didn't feel anything different than I would have, you know. And I left. You know, I hugged her, told her, you know, call me. I would call her when I got into North Carolina, and just keep in touch and be careful, and you know, stuff like that. Just general everyday stuff. It was no different than any other day.
Okay, then she does not call her, so she knows she's missing.
She's gonna die, you know. So I was like, whatever I gotta do, you know, I'm gonna finish it. It's my last year. So I actually started working at a strip club called Pure Gold in Wilmington, North Carolina. And one of the girls that came in there frequently just as a customer, you know, me and her got to talking, and she owned a strippogram service, so to speak.
So she's talking about how they got it mixed up into all of this.
Experience doing this. I mean, you get your people who the calls don't go through because you're not their cup of tea, but that's fine. It's whatever, you know.
Explaining how the calls go.
Well, my audience doesn't know about that, so I have to explain that.
Bissett is a guy who owned what is that called? Greeneries, like greenhouses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big business.
She spills some tea in here. That's why I like this.
Which takes about 3 hours. It comes off. It's been flagged for removal. So.
And then you can put the same number back up?
Yeah, absolutely. You just can't put 2 ads up under the same email at the same time. You understand what I'm saying?
But if you could do something, what would you do? Is there anything like to help? Is there anything?
I would definitely.
Oh, yeah. Let me get past this.
Or every whatever becomes, it's a sickness. It's a sickness. I understand it. I swear to God, believe it or not, I understand it. You know, I know what it's like to have a sickness that eats at you that you can't cure. It's a progression that just worsens every day and just overtakes your, just any kind of sense you would have. And oh my God, it's just horrible. You know, I do. I understand. I understand. Believe it or not, I understand. It's bad. It's bad.
But this is not the first time this has happened in Long Island.
And it probably won't be the last. It's just the way it is. You know, me and my sister never talked about serial killers, but we should have because it's one of the most common amongst this type of work, you know. He really did.
He did. You were telling me yesterday, what'd you say? Like they hadn't, what do the cops have to catch this guy?
Well, they have the bodies and the known that they were on Craigslist. I don't think that they really have a lot, you know. They don't have.
Okay, Dago, I'm ending in like a few minutes. You're good. Thanks for being here. See you soon.
They don't have DNA. They don't have a witness. They don't have a crime scene. They don't have, you know, a weapon. You know, they have a bag of bones in one hand and some hope in the other. That's pretty much what they got. You know, they have, there's no one that's came forward. They haven't found any more bodies around this area. It's so hard. You know, it's hard. I understand their aspect of it too. It's hard. You can only work with what you get. I've been trying to solve it. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. It's hard.
What have you done to try and solve this case?
I've took guys' information down, you know, that like I just know it just rubbed me the wrong way. And just in the beginning I was taking everybody's information down, turning, you know, putting it in the computers, Googling them, just doing whatever, you know.
Yeah, she would have been a good source because here she is. She's in that same industry, knowing what's happened to her sister. So she's kind of she was doing kind of her own like little police work.
Face and just know how it was for Amber. You know, I just want to know what she went through. How bad was it for her? You know, she doesn't deserve to suffer by herself. You know, and I don't know. You know, I just want to know.
Now, you set up a clearinghouse for girls? I mean, you were talking to other girls? I mean, what's the problem? Girls, I don't, the one thing I don't understand is
I thought she said, this might not be the right video. There's someone, I think it's her, I'm going to keep skimming through, that went to a party and she later, after the party, found out that, and it was at Oak Beach. There is a person out there. If I don't get to it today, I will show it the next time. But she partied with men out at Oak Beach at a house, and James Burke was there. Like, she identifies him later. So that's crazy. Yeah, this is one of the victim's sister. Yeah, so for sure.
expect that this guy has seen other girls. He hasn't killed them, but he's seen these other
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. I think that someone has ran across him and
yeah, of course.
He restocks them. Yes? No?
I don't know. That's so hard to say. I don't know.
Peter told me he was a stalker.
He could stalk them, but I don't think he actually meets them. My sister had been called a couple times to walk up to a couple of different places, and the guy would meet her. She'd be up there. She'd be waiting. 30 minutes later, finally the guy would call, and he would be like, you're wearing blue shorts and, a striped shirt or whatever. But he would never come forth or give his location, they never met. And that happened a couple times with my sister, and it was the same guy.
It was the same guy.
It was the same guy because he would use different numbers, but she caught on to his voice.
Really?
And
how many times do you think this happened?
With her?
Yeah.
It was 3 times.
How previously before?
I can't tell you that because I don't know. I just know that she said she was scared. It's just one of the few times that she was really scared. It scared her.
Why don't more people know about this?
Because it's taboo. People, it's not the good part of life. It's not the offense and the children, and it's not. It's the crime of Long Island, and they try to hide it. It's just the way it is. It's the dirt, the scandal. Brings to light a lot of people who do see girls. It's just a lot. It's just you don't want to be involved in it, so they don't want to put themselves into it, so they don't think about it. It's not them. It's not anybody they know. Why would they worry about it?
Mm-hmm.
They've got enough on their plate.
And do you think, are you there's, first of all, what are the other families?
Okay, I think it's another video. Let me look real quick. I just found it. Woman. That's what it's called. Her mother. 1 second. Please hold, please. that one. I don't know about this. No.
Behind Peter Hackett's house.
Nope. Oh, that's a bummer. All right. So I will just end with telling you about this. So there was a girl that, had a job at a house out at Oak Beach. She did say I could describe the house. She did not say the name of the person who owned the house. I don't know if she knew that. She was not the only girl there. So my suspicion yesterday, when we went over everything yesterday, was that there were probably parties out there. Maybe several people who lived in that area knew each other, would get together and have these types of parties. People that aren't even in the area, law enforcement, people that are higher up, like I said, like well-to-do businessmen, stuff like that. Thanks, Mark. I know I have it saved. I just don't have it saved in this playlist that I had ready for today. So thank you, though. Thank you. Yeah, she said she was there. There were other women there. They kind of like hang out and party with the guys and then, get led off into different rooms and stuff like that. And that's what happened to her. She was with somebody that she said was very aggressive and rough with her. And he wasn't very happy after the encounter and just kind of like threw money at her. And later, after she left that party, she was with, she said, a friend who was a police officer, which seems to be a thing around there. She said that she was telling her friend what happened, and he said, oh, it's got to be Jimmy, right? Because Jimmy had a reputation and she didn't know. And he showed her a picture. She's like, yep, that's him. So that's the story of what that girl told. And all of these bits and pieces, like just to bring it back to Idaho 4, all those bits and pieces of information that we're seeing, if they would have all been analyzed, investigated collectively, thoroughly, some of that information needed to be shared with the public so that the public could have helped, like 911 call, the belt buckle, things like that. Like I agree with that one guy on the video. This probably should have been solved a few weeks after Shannan was discovered, right? I think there was enough information out there, but here we are. That's why I said how to eventually solve a murder. Sometimes you have to get around, above, below. You might even have to go through like people who are trying to put roadblocks up, right? That's what happened in this case, and a lot of other cases also. All right, DJ, let's see. Did you hear about Nancy Guthrie's case? Oh, as soon as that case happened, DJ, I hope it's okay to call you DJ. Yeah, I started following it, and the night that they pulled over and did those, what do you call them? The raids, like those raids they did. I just did a spontaneous live and jumped on, and that was an exciting night. Yeah, so I was covering it. I just kind of stopped until something new comes out. So I did talk about it. There's another channel, DJ, write this down. True Crime Cafe with Dago. You can see his name up in the chat. He's probably live right now. And I collaborate with him a lot. So I think you'll really enjoy his channel. He's been on YouTube a lot longer than I have. Yeah, I don't think she is either, unfortunately. I don't either. So, yeah, thanks, Mark Schumann, for reminding me of that. And I'm going to stop here. That's everything I wanted to, focus on the victims, focus on shed light on the fact that there was a lot of evidence and information from witnesses, people that were close to the victims, that the Suffolk County Police had the whole time. And it was certain police officers that chose not to follow up on things, not to do things, not to use the FBI. And so it takes oftentimes. So those of us that are following the Idaho 4 case, if all this evidence comes out and we're still not seeing that they had the evidence to prove that it's Brian Kohberger, sometimes it takes different people, the right people in positions to get things done. So, I can't make a definitive statement on Idaho 4 in that aspect yet because we haven't seen everything, but what we've seen, no. Haven't seen the evidence yet, but all right. I don't have any fix it home improvement endeavors that need to be done tomorrow. So hopefully I will be on time. Hi, Stoner Detectives. Thanks for being here. I have checked out your channel too, for sure. I hope you're having a great day. Yeah, if you're just joining, yesterday I started talking about the Long Island serial killer case, just kind of going through the backstory. I think what happened initially and all the crazy stuff. Like there's a lot of good information to shed light on with that part of the investigation. So I did that yesterday and today. I'll be back tomorrow. I should be back at my regular time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And I want to give a huge shout out to all my mods who were in here earlier. I appreciate you all. Skull, thank you so much. Dago, Tomboy, Seahawks fan, all the members. And I know Mike was in here. All my mods. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Green Team Peeps, Italian Girl, Blue Eyed Butterfly, Sluther 75. I appreciate you all. Have a great day, and I am clocking out for now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Practically unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. It's free, it keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew, now right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife and proud to be a husband and a wife in podcast harmony. Yeah, that's you and me, that's you and me. Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear.